We all have joyful, sorrowful, luminous, and glorious mysteries of our life, don't we? Just like Our Lady. In 2002, I experienced a very sorrowful mystery of my life. First, it was joyful, though, very joyful. My granddaughter and my daughter-in-law and my grandchildren all came into the Catholic Church at Easter Vigil. 3 weeks later to the day, I got a call that my only granddaughter, Lindsay, had been terribly injured in an accident. She had taken her seatbelt off to give my littlest grandson his cup that he had dropped in the truck, and that's when my daughter-in-law had the accident. She wasn't expected to live through the night. Her skull was crushed. And when I got up there to Indiana, where we're originally from Florida, as much as I love the chaplet, I was so choked with grief that all I could say is, Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you. When I went into the room, she made it through the operation. The doctor pulled me aside and said, I need for you to be strong for your family, because although she made it through the operation, I don't expect her to live through the night. It's very serious. And interiorly, I heard Our Lady say to me, I who stood at the foot of the cross of my Son will be with you during this cross. And so I was able to be lifted above that suffering, like all of us, when we go through those times. All the Holy Communions that you have all received, that grace kicks in, doesn't it? Just when we need it. When we think we can't bear it any longer, that grace kicks in. That reservoir of God's mercy and grace is there. Well, it was touch and go. She was in a deep coma for 30 days. They removed the right side of her skull and put her in a deep coma. And they'd have to constantly pump her little lungs because they would fill up and collapse. But brothers and sisters, what came out of that suffering? And remember, St. Faustina says that suffering is the thermometer of love. What came out of that suffering was her primary care nurse came up to me and said, Mrs. Karto, she said, we have a 4-year-old son at home, and we haven't taught him any faith. I want to teach him the kind of faith that I've seen in this hospital room. I want to know more about the Catholic faith. So I was able to get her connected with people in her area. There were so many miracles that came from Lindsay's suffering. But at the end, the doctors didn't know how much she would know or recognize, or she would speak again. And when they finally brought her out of the coma and she went through the last operation of replacing her skull, I bent over to her and I said, Lindsay, if you can hear Grandma, I want you to blink your eyes. And her big brown eyes just blinked like flashlight, off and on. So the doctors and nurses were elated. And today, this was 8 years ago, she's a healthy 16-year-old girl with part of her brain removed, but she has really come by leaps and bounds, and she's a case study for Harvard University because they said they never had anyone in that hospital recover that quickly as Lindsay did. But the miracle apart really was that I had placed the image of Divine Mercy above her pillow, and my daughter-in-law didn't know anything about the image. And she had a dream, and she said, she came to me the next morning and she said, this was the second night after the accident, and she said, I don't know if this was a dream or a vision, but I was outside of Lindsay's room and I saw light coming from Christ's heart, and he was just like in this picture. She said, just like, and he had one hand raised and the other hand was on Lindsay's head. And I thought, my goodness, we're going to have a miracle. Even if the Lord took her home, which is the final healing for all of us, right? That's the final healing. But she did recover. Now, as I would rub her little limbs, during her coma, I would sing her this song, Overshadow Me. And when she came out of her therapy, she knew this song word for word. So if there's any children in the audience right now, I want to ask you to come up and join Miss Annie. Any children at all out there, come up and join me, because I'm going to have you teach. I'm going to ask the adults to stand, and Lindsay taught me these hand motions. So I'm going to ask you to be like a little child and do these hand motions that she taught me to go with this song. Everybody stand. Any children, you want to come up? Kids, please come up and join Miss Annie up on the stage. We'll wait for you. Don't be shy. Oh, here they come. Aren't they beautiful? I tell you, your children here in New Zealand, I love that all the different nationalities have produced such beautiful children. Come on up, okay? Can you just get in a line right across the stage? Oh, hello. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. Okay, you're gonna watch Miss Annie, okay? Now you're gonna use both hands. I can only use one hand because I'm holding the microphone. But I want you to use both hands, and you're gonna teach all these adults these hand motions that my granddaughter taught me. And they're real simple, okay? I promise. Okay, overshadow me. Are we ready? Maybe turn the music down just a little. How I long to be more holy. How I long to be free. My desire is to be like you, Lord. Overshadow me. Ready? Overshadow me. Beautiful. Overshadow me. Sing with me. Holy Spirit, overshadow me. The love you give me stirs my heart to be all that I can be. I can only come as I am, Lord. Overshadow me. Overshadow me. Overshadow me. Holy Spirit, overshadow me. How I long to be more righteous in my thoughts, words, and deeds. My desire is to please you, O Lord. Overshadow me. Holy Spirit, overshadow me. My spirit yearns to be there beside you. My heart aches to be in unity. My desire is to be one with you, Lord. Overshadow me. Holy Spirit, overshadow us. Praise you, Jesus. Praise you, Jesus. Can you have another hand for these young people? Beautiful. If you want to know what purity is, look into the faces of these children. Look at the faces of these children. Thank you so much. Oh, they were beautiful. And you don't know how beautiful you all were. If you could see yourselves and how God the Father saw all of you, and the purity and the love and the devotion that was streaming from your faces and your hearts. It was overwhelming. Oh my goodness, praise to you, Jesus. Praise to you.